again. Thank you. Gosh, that was a mainstay. A lot of pressure. So it took me 8 years to finish school to get to the point where I had an MFA or whatever it's called. And yeah, so I'm going to read part of my thesis actually, because I know that sounds boring. It's hopefully not, but because people around here didn't get to hear any of it, so I just figured I'd share some. I won the Best of Show There Will Be Words this year, but in a limerick off, and I read a very rude limerick. So
that's why you were a Flash Fiction Slam champion.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I deserve to anything based on that, but I just figured I'd confess that. So yeah, this is from a book that's about a photographer who's fallen on hard times and can only find work taking illicit photos, and this is a scene where he has gone to a hotel in order to take such an illicit photo, and also it's important to note that he has run out of money at this point in his life. So there we go. Inside, the thick ballroom carpet sprung taut beneath my shoes. What might it mean that I experienced most rooms first with my feet? I also noticed the smell of food. A bruiser of a man in a smeared apron working a blade through a dribbling prime rib under the red light of a carving station. Hot fat seeping down the blade, pooling on the wooden cutting board. Peppercorn and marbled crust laying like tree bark, a blanket around the meat. I could have died, except if I was going to die, I wanted to eat first. Photographer. I turned to see motherfucking Alvin the hard-ass. He had wrapped his absurdly large body in a black shirt, had tied on a black tie. He handed me an envelope. From Macro, he said. I pinched it between my thumb and finger. It had a different kind of meat inside, money meat. Don't fuck up, said motherfucking Alvin the hard-ass. Then he left. Envelope in hand, surrounded by smells and pretty young people in nice clothes and tables with fine white linens. At least I think they were fine, although honestly I know fuck all about linens. And music. There was music, violin music, like with little violins and those bigger violins, which I think are actually called violas, and they're just so beautiful with their stringy notes cascading through the air. I felt good. A hand found my shoulder. Notably, a large hand. Sir, said the owner of the hand, a third large man, where were they coming from? Please come with me, sir. He guided me from the ballroom toward the lobby. He wore a tuxedo like the rest of the event staff. It was a fancy night after all. Are you the photographer from the Trumpeter? Yes, I said. Former, I thought. Okay, I need you to come with me. He walked toward the bank of elevators at the back of the lobby. Where are we going? I asked. Please, just come with me, sir. The elevator arrived and he ushered me inside, swiped his key card and pressed the button for the club floor. The elevator hummed obediently upward. I tried to imagine what it would feel like to be thrown from a window, to be shot in a stairwell, to be dumped in the river and never thought of again. It would feel lonely, probably. The club floor opened to a lounge with small wooden tables. Half-empty plates of hors d'oeuvres and fully empty cocktail glasses littered the room, and a waiter busied himself removing the service items. This way, sir. The large man ushered me down a hallway. The spaces between rooms on this floor were wide. This was the suites of the Country Inn and Suites. At one door, he halted and swiped his keycard again. The door lock clicked, and he pushed it open for me. I entered. The suite was large. I could tell this even from the entryway. I could hear a noise inside, sort of a wet slapping sound, like steaks being tenderized. I walked forward into the room and saw a group of men in blue and white Oxford shirts huddled around the bed. They were wearing boxing gloves, all of them, old brown gloves. And there was this guy. They were taking turns punching him. It was very organized. How it worked was, two men would lift the guy up into a sitting position on the bed. His hands were bound behind his back, you see, so he needed a bit of help. Then the two guys holding him there, a third guy would wind up and punch him down to the bed from between them. Then it was someone else's turn, and the whole thing started over. There was a nice line of people waiting for their turn to punch. I recognized most of the men there. I had photographed them. City councilmen, fellows of the Chamber of Commerce, the city comptroller, the chairman of the tourism board. These men ran the city of Groveland. I did not recognize the man being punched, though. He was pretty swollen and bruised. I gathered they had been working at this for a while. Mayor Cole took his punch, a big flailing wallop, and then turned and saw me. "Hey there, guy, you made it up." He came over and threw his arm across my shoulders. "Take a break, fellas," he said. He was drunk, I think. I tried to smile, but I doubt he noticed. The rest of the men pulled off their boxing gloves and went to the sideboard, making fresh cocktails. "Welcome to the party, pal. So glad you're here. So glad." Cole saw how confused I was. "I heard you were downstairs and thought, that's a guy we need up here. Pronto." He gestured over to the bed at the bruised man. "So this guy here, he's why I wanted you up here." "Doc?" The city health commissioner, Bud Hines, turned toward us with a fresh gin and tonic in his fist. "Wake the guy up, would you?" Bud nodded and splashed a little of his drink on the man's bruised face, which woke him up. He gasped, gurgled out some non-words. "Damnedest thing," said the mayor. "Here we are, doing our business, building a really great community for, basically our kids and families and stuff. And suddenly, here comes this guy, a paparazzo, He's trying to take pictures of our own dear Liddy, Groveland's adopted daughter, the sweet thing, the poor sweet girl, our baby girl. So, that's bullshit. That's not happening." We told him it wasn't, you see, but he said something about freedom of photographers in public spaces, freedom of, what did he say? "Freedom of oversight," said Tom Watt, a circuit court judge. "Right." And then he said something about the ACLU, and that really pissed me off. So, we did the old boxing line from back at school. I think we're making our point. He slapped my back. "Anyway, I heard you were downstairs, and I thought, hey, let's show this paparazzo dick what a real photographer looks like. And here you are." He slapped my back again and pointed at the guy on the bed, who was just then drooling blood. "See this guy, Dickface? He's a real photographer." The man did not respond or indicate that he was conscious, but the mayor seemed satisfied. He slapped me on the back a third time. "I always loved it when you would come by to shoot photos, I would think, hey, now there's a photo. I love that." Unsure of his point, I looked around in my head for words. "Do you want me to take a," was all I could find. "Oh no, no photos of this." "No," he said. "No, this one's okay. We're okay." Everyone laughed. "You're funny," said the mayor, and again slapped me on the back. "You know what, Doc? Think Mr. ACLU can take a bare knuckler?" Bud Hines shrugged and dropped a wedge of lime into his drink. "I'll bet he can," said the mayor. "Boys, set him up again." Two men from the city commissioner's office lifted the man back up into a sitting position. The mayor pushed me forward and howled, "Here's a real photographer, fucko!" I stumbled up to the edge of the bed and balled my fist. I looked over my shoulder. The city men were cheering, whooping, shoving me forward, blood-drunk eyes flashing wild whites. "Punch him in the throat!" shouted the mayor. I swung at the man's stomach. A little trickle of blood dribbled from his mouth and he fell again to the bed. Standing over him, I could see that the comforter was damp with blood and shit and fluids not so easily identified. Not bad, said the mayor, guiding me back toward the suite door. He opened it and gave me a push outside. Before he closed it, though, he extended his hand through the gap. "Thank you for your service," he said. I shook his hand and left. When I reached the outside, the parking lot, I felt my pockets for the envelope. It was safely tucked into my jacket. I yanked it out, afraid it might have been imagined. I was thinking, again, about food. I was hungry, despite everything. I flipped back the envelope lip and looked at the money inside. There were 30 or so crumpled bills, all ones. A yellow sticky note glared from the front of the stack. It read, "Dollar menu, motherfucker." Thank you.